Oh man,
So tell him to leave it and then snap the collar.
Leave it.
I'm laughing, but I'm sad. It's like someone made this video especially for me to show you. I mean, dude, you see, that's exactly why you shouldn't be using your prong collar. I'm Dr. Orion, a veterinarian and a veterinary behavior specialist. Today I'm going to review a video by Tom Davies Dog Training, because you asked me to.
It's kind of like having a loaded gun. You could take it, you can go to the range, you can shoot the targets, you can have the most fun in your entire life. You can bring your friends. You do that for 15, 20 years, you never have any problems. You're safe, right? You get a dog, it's kind of the same thing. Like, you need to know how to holster this thing. God forbid anybody broke into your house to try to harm you and your family. You have that loaded gun.
I actually kind of agree that dogs can be similar to a loaded gun. First, because many of them do have the potential of causing harm. Second, because we have different caliber dogs, right? We have Chihuahuas that might be a smaller caliber, and we have Great Danes or Amstaff, or a big dog that might be a very large caliber. Now, you wouldn't expect some tiny person to have this huge cannon, because they might physically not be able to deal with it, to handle it, right? So they should probably get a smaller caliber. And the same is true for dogs. You can't get a giant dog if you're physically, and by the way, not just physically, also experience-wise. You need to be a very good dog handler in a reward-based way in order to be able to deal with a big dog.
Outside of that time of using it, you have to have the ultimate communication and control.
And it's embarrassing because it looks like that lady shouldn't have this breed.
Maybe she's right. Maybe she shouldn't have that breed, but in this case, I wouldn't say that it's because of the size. It might be because of not having enough experience. Now, don't get me wrong, everyone can learn. But the question is, do you want to take your training wheels off on something that might cause potentially more damage than to first train smaller dogs?
And I did all my research. I'm very proud to have this breed, and I want him to be a great example. And I feel like he can be a neutral boy and actually enjoy people who can respect and approach a dog appropriately under my, leadership.
Yeah.
Already not liking it. Leadership means that she has the wrong idea on how to train a dog. All this leadership and dominance and being an alpha, that's how you get things done wrong.
All right, spend some time walking around a little bit, getting them acclimated, and then we'll chat.
Let's go. Good boy. Nope. See this pulling, I don't like it. I'm frustrated. You see how we walk.
We just started. We already see that this dog has a huge prong collar on him. And guess what? The prong collar is not working. The dog is still pulling, and she keeps tagging on it, which is only leading to discomfort, but not actually training the dog.
But again, we missed a lot of that training period when he was less powerful because I couldn't. Luca, leave it.
Look at that. So stop for a second. So tell him to leave it and then snap the collar.
Leave it.
I'm laughing, but I'm sad. It's like someone made this video especially for me to show you. I mean, dude, you see, that's exactly why you shouldn't be using your prong collar. And that's exactly why you shouldn't hurt the dog, especially when the dog is already like hyper alert and maybe anxious or fearful, and now you're adding something that hurts him. Did that stop the behavior? No, it made it worse.
Try to back up and tell him to come towards you.
Luca. Turn him around, sit him again.
Try not to be so tight on him.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to be careful about it because considering his breed, like, he's just doing what he thinks he needs to do. So in my opinion, he's not necessarily doing anything bad. My point is it doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me too. It has nothing to do with the breed. A fearful Chihuahua or a fearful Labrador or a fearful Westie will behave the same way. And not just fearful, might just be excited and wanting to interact with other dogs. It's hard to tell because they clip the ears which prevents us from actually getting the right body language in some situations. And by the way, also prevents other dogs from understanding this dog's body language, which can result in more aggression.
Right.
Hey, I got an
is-
intact 2.5-year-old Corso that is growling suspiciously at people we don't know. This guy's blue.
That's very dangerous. Not because he's intact, because of the fact that he's around other people, strangers, and clearly he's not happy about it. If you saw, I'm going to show it again. He basically lunged at the lady that was sitting there. I really hope he's insured. Let's see this again.
We don't know. So my point is with him is you just have to be responsible and you have to have the ultimate communication and control.
Yes, and yes, she needs to be responsible and she needs to have control. By saying control, I don't mean forcefully controlling the dog, controlling the situation. What does that mean? If you know that there's something that's going to trigger your dog, just don't do it. Find a way to avoid that trigger, especially while you're working with the dog and until your dog is manageable enough and you have good communications so you can actually read your dog's body language and try to distract him or try to make him feel better before something bad happens.
So that way, when you have him out and he says, well, there's this very suspicious person, I think I need to go and check this person's ID and scare the shit out of him. You need to say, absolutely not. That's not what this is for. We don't do that. You're using the prong often without knowing it, right? So we're putting 80% pressure on the dog, right? So if you're sitting at 80% all the time and you need to go say, let's say a correction is 100, it doesn't take much to soak a damn frag.
So the excuse is that because she's overusing it, then it's not working anymore. Well, those tools usually don't work. And to be honest, most people overuse it anyways, including trainers.
Already almost there, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure when you're handling him that prong collar is only being turned on when you're trying to communicate something. There's nothing wrong with using it, but if you overuse it, especially with a big meathead like this, it's not.
He's not a meathead, and any use is going to be overusing it. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that in one of the views, I actually saw that the dog is also wearing a shock collar. Because if the prong collar is not working, let's also add a shock collar. I might be wrong though.
It's not gonna harm him. You're like you can't hurt him, right?
Mhm.
But what it's gonna do is it's gonna be the boy who cried wolf type thing.
Physically, for a big dog like that, and for a smaller person like she is, yes, I agree. It's probably physically not gonna harm him, although it might, because even the barbs that do have the cover on them can create pressure that might affect important organs that go through the neck, important vessels, and sometimes even poke the skin. And I know some of you will say, no, they're covered, it can't poke the skin. You're wrong. I say it all the time. But it's not just the physical damage, right? It's also the emotional damage. It's also the damage to the human-animal bond, as she already demonstrated to us before when she was pulling on it and the dog actually became more aggressive.
Is you're overusing it. So then when you need it, he's like, oh, I've already felt this correction 20 times in the last half an hour.
Right.
Now what do you want?
I know I'm overusing the prong collar.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's gonna recommend doing. Because right now, yes, she's using it all the time. How will he make her use it less and maybe only using it in specific situations? Because that means that she will need to find a different way to control the dog the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So just try not to correct him so much. So you just told him no probably like 4 or 5 times there, just there for no reason. When Becca walked in, it was a prr, prr, prr. I heard that collar going. This is how using a prong collar.
Yes, he's definitely wearing shock collars, and I think that the trainer is the one holding the remote. Maybe because he is afraid that the dog might turn on someone and bite them. So he has that as a safety measure. I don't know.
Correction should work. The dog knows the behavior. You've practiced it. You've studied it. They know it for sure. You say, hey, do it. They go, nope, correction.
Anthropomorphizing, meaning giving the dog behaviors of people, like the dog is doing something on purpose, and flipping the finger or flipping the bird or whatever you want to call it means that trying to make it sound like the dog is doing something on purpose and is not giving an F about what the owners wants and is actually doing it on purpose, completely wrong. The dog is definitely not thinking in that level. Dogs are smart, but they're not people.
Take your left leg and turn towards the light. Nope, sorry. Into him.
Into him.
Yeah.
Well, he's spun now.
It's okay.
Okay.
But even right now,
Yes.
you're correcting him.
Yeah. So first, I will say that the dog actually does know some things because you see how he automatically sits down. He turns around in different directions that are not where the owner wants him to turn to because he's just confused. She keeps pulling on the prong collar. And I guess it's because she's so scared, she's so stressed about walking around with this dog that can easily pull her down, that she just pulls on it all the time, hoping that that will prevent him from doing something wrong.
So don't.
I'm trying to control the situation when I don't
That's
really
okay.
need to, right?
Yep.
Basically. Okay.
But don't.
See?
Yep. So just tell him where you. So just walk with him towards the light for a second.
But Luca? Yeah.
Good.
She's still pulling on it.
Good. Do you have a heel command with him?
We've been working on it, but he likes to pull.
So come back towards me and we're going to start working on the heel.
Okay. Luca? Yep.
When you're handling him, you need to try to pay attention to what you are doing, not.
When working with a dog, especially training new commands, new cues, new behaviors, you need to pay attention to the dog, but also to yourself.
As much as you can. Because right now, you're basically going heel and you're like, all right, I'm just going to hold on here. What you need to do is kind of breathe, put your posture forward, relax. If you feel comfortable enough, put the leash in one hand. If you don't, that's okay. But what I want you to do is heel forward. And the moment he crosses your leg, you're going to snap the collar and correct him. And you're going to do it backwards, not up.
So that's exactly the classical aversive training. Let's just hurt the dog whenever the dog is doing something that we don't want him to do, even though he was never taught what we do want him to do. It's not even using the carrot and the stick. It's just using a stick.
This, okay? Yeah, backwards. Because that will help that their ship like a horse, right? If I pull back, they're going to go backwards because they want to shut this off. And then
That's a whole different thing. Pulling on the prong collar is what's called a positive punishment. Positive because we're adding something aversive, something painful that is supposed to stop the behavior. Pulling on a horse's reins, making the horse goes backwards until he does whatever we want and then you release the tension is actually considered negative reinforcement. We're not trying to stop a behavior, we're actually trying to reinforce a behavior, in that case, making the horse goes backwards by also doing something that the horse might find unpleasant. So yes, reinforcement is not always with treats. And also because it's confusing and in a way tricky to sometimes know the difference between punishment and negative reinforcement. In most cases, we don't even try using negative reinforcement. But if you want to give a good example of using negative reinforcement in a dog, that would be using something like a no-pull harness or a halty. Because in that situation, when the dog is pulling forward, there's going to be some tension or it's going to kind of like move the dog to the side. And only when he stops pulling that and basically does what we want him to do, the tension goes away. So by that, we actually reinforced the good behavior, the not pulling, and we didn't actually punish. Of course, if we also, the second that the dog is pulling forward, we tag on it really hard, then yes, that's actually positive punishment.
When they get into position, we release and they go, okay, this is where you want me. Correct. So as you go forward, like that, you're going to pop right when he crosses that line.
Okay.
If he does well, you're going to tell him good heel. But really, you should only be healing from like here to here.
Good.
Yeah, she keeps pulling.
Yeah. All right.
And you can see how the dog is doing this, basically a default behavior. It's like she's pulling. He doesn't have any clue what she wants from him. So he just sits down. Did she want him to sit? No, she was walking with him, but he's like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I'll just sit because maybe that's what she wants me to do.
Go back the other way. And now what I want you to do is take the leash, put it behind your back. You're going to hold it with your right hand.
I will say it's good because he keeps looking at her, which is good because if the dog is making eye contact with you while you're working on behavior modification, then it's easier because it means that he is trying to get clues from you as to what you want him to do.
Good. And you're going to use basically your body to give him a little bit of pressure.
And just this.
What I would do is not touch the leash with your left hand at all. Yeah. And you can tighten up here a little bit so you get nice and taut there. And you're going to use your, this sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
So he's too big to correct him basically with your wrist. He's too strong. So walk forward really slow. I want you to look forward. Yes. Good.
Why does he want her to look forward? Wouldn't it be better if she's making some eye contact with the dog, again, to actually communicate with him?
I heel.
Yes.
Luca heel.
Walk forward. Stop.
Good job.
Good. That's it.
Now do it yourself. You can write down in the comments later how many times from the beginning of this video until the end of the video you see the dog lip licking kind of like in random times. Not because he's hungry, not because he just ate something, just at random times. Lip licking is one of the signs for stress. That and yawning and all of a sudden licking himself somewhere. This dog is definitely not happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So little tiny changes make a big difference.
Yeah.
And now you're going to start getting that leadership and he's going to, this is what you want right here. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, with the leadership, there's nothing to do with leadership. And if you want to use that terminology, a good leader leads by example. He's the leader because people or pets trust him. Leadership is not forcefully taken.
It's looking right up at you, Shal.
He doesn't like the moment you take the responsibility out of his way, now he's like, okay, he's going to be more chill. He's going to be more relaxed. Your relationship is going to get better. And this is just the very start. Okay. You have a long way to go, but.
Okay. I do appreciate that he's actually telling her that there's a long way to go because these things are not a quick fix. Even when you're using punishment and even when you're using these methods, unlike many of those dog trainers that just tell you, yeah, you do this and in 5 minutes, you're going to have a dog that's going to walk next to you and is never going to pull you again. If you watched this video and you liked it, please like and subscribe. It does help promote this video to other people that think the same way as you do. If you want to share it, that's even better. And in the meanwhile, you can also watch this video.